Okay, it looks like we've got what we need now. Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of work on private parts. We're going to be actually going to be removing this antenna mount here and replacing it with one similar to, or one exactly the same as what we've got over here. We're also going to be removing that piece of wood that we have been strapping the ice chest down to and replacing it with something a little bit better. So at any rate folks, stick around, we'll get to it. Alright, the first thing we got to do is we need to go ahead and get the trash bag taken off. And hopefully, yeah, there we go. We'll get that taken off, and we need to grab a ratchet so that we can get the spare tire off. Alright, now that we've got the spare tire kind of out of the way, we're going to remove the coax from the antenna. I'm going to remove the antenna sections from the AB15, and then remove the AB15 from the mount. And it's got kind of a long screw in there. Make sure you remember to go ahead and pull your the gaskets out of there as well. We're just going to set that in the back so that it's out of the way. Next thing we got to do is pull these 4 bolts out. I've never removed this, so I'm not 100% certain how everything is installed back there. So we're going to go grab us, it looks like a 9/16 wrench and a 9/16 socket for that, and so we can get this thing removed. Looks like this bottom one here is, they've got the bolt installed on the back side here, and I think that's because it's yeah, it's kind of difficult to get to. So we're gonna have to as you can see in here, maybe. As you can see in here, we have this shield that covers up the light, and that nut, or that bolt, is back behind this support system up here. So we're going to have to pull that off. That looks to be 9/16 as well. Is that 9/16? Yes, it is. And yes, that also holds the tail light in. All right, there we go. This seems to be kind of a, you know, it's built out of angle iron, and it, you know, seems to be kind of a, you know, like a field modified or a home built deal, but this is an actual issued item. So we're not going to be getting rid of this. We will definitely be potentially using it on another rig. But now that we have this all cleaned out, we're going to go ahead and put our tail light back in, and then starting to work on getting the new antenna mount fitted up and bolted on here. All right, there we go. All right, here we have a freshly painted lower section that's going to end up bolting on right here. So, but we do have an issue over here. And let's bring you over here to show you this issue. So you guys can see this footman loop here is bolted onto the side of the body. If we go over to the other side here, this one is welded. So Private Parts here was restored by somebody. I assume the guy that that had it prior to me, and he loved plastic body filler, and so that is most likely why. And he must not have, he sure didn't do a good job of making sure that footman loops were in the right location and things like that. I suspect that there's a bunch of body filler over here on this side. So as you can see here, when I go ahead and try to set this in place, so that it's the same as the other side. That footman loop is down here instead of up in that square like it's supposed to be. So we're going to have to go ahead and remove that that footman loop there, and we'll end up relocating it to the correct location once we get done here. Although that footman loop does not get used because it's down into it's too close to this surface here, and so you can't get a strap underneath it. So we're going to go ahead and pull that footman loop off, and then so we can get this mount properly located. Well, it does not appear that there's a bunch of body filler here. I sure hope not. But I do know that on the hood, there's some spots on the hood that had close to 3/16 to 1/4 of an inch of body filler. And that just ain't right. Oh yeah, we've got a lot of body filler here. So I don't think there's a whole lot else that we can do with it at this point in time. So we're not going to go ahead and worry about trying to deal with with the Bondo and the plastic body filler at this point in time. What we're going to do is get this set and located properly, and then drill the holes, get it bolted up. And this is the color that Private Parts is going to be eventually. It's a World War II color, and I just like it. So this is what we're going to use. Plus the fact I have 3 gallons of it. That also helps. So at any rate, let me go get what I'm going to need in order to get this positioned correctly. And we'll get a drill motor and some drills and start bolting this thing on. All right, in order to locate that thing properly, you can see that the bottom on this side here, the bottom of this square hole is level with the top of the sponson here. And so we're going to go ahead and get that set up the same way on the other side, because for what we've got planned, for this whole area in the next few days is going to be critical that that both of these antenna mounts are at the same height. So at any rate, let's go ahead and get this located and start drilling some holes. All right, so you can see here we've kind of got it wedged up. Normally, this could be a 2-man operation. You wouldn't have to worry about fixture and all this stuff, but we've got it so that this is flush here, and this will be flush here. So we're going to go ahead and drill this hole right here and get a bolt put in it, and then basically I think we're going to do all of the top ones first, because this body panel here I don't think is straight and square. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find a small level and check to see if that is, you know, how level that is. And I'm sorry for the exposure here, folks, but I just don't have any real good lighting out here. Well, I couldn't find my small level, so this one's going to have to do. At any rate, that's looking pretty good right where it's at. So we're going to go ahead and start drilling some holes here. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of body filler here. Got that hole marked. I don't know if you folks can see that. It looks to be probably a good 1/8 of an inch frickin' body filler there. And these holes here, well, about the same. It's a no wonder why we don't have a real sharp line on this body panel here, because it's formed from body filler. At any rate, hopefully that doesn't cause us too many more issues down the road. But I'm going to get some bolts, and we'll get this one bolted in, and then we'll go ahead and line up and do the rest of them. Okay, get this one lined up, and this, and then a nut for it. And normally I would have, for doing a new install on one of these, you would have an installation kit. But this this mount that I got secondhand, so it didn't have the mount or any of the instructions, nor did it have any of the hardware. Because normally you would get a hardware kit and that sort of thing with it. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're still nice and level, and get this one drilled right here. Yeah, I guess the magnet wasn't strong enough. Good news, no body filler back here. Now we're going to go ahead, and this bolt here is going to go in, and it's just going to be kind of a temporary placeholder, because as you will see here shortly, there is a support piece that goes behind here, and I just lost the nut. Come on, get on there. So what we're going to end up doing is drilling our holes down here on the bottom, putting our support piece on the bottom. That'll go ahead and pull everything into the body contours, because none of this stuff matches up perfectly. And I guess I probably ought to get the right size wrench, and then we'll drill these holes here, put the top support in, and then we'll be good. Okay. All right, we're going to do it this way then. All right, now we can go ahead and pull the supports out, and the fact that they pulled out tight is a good thing. Now we'll go ahead and drill the rest of these holes out. There we go. Okay, now we are going to install these bottom bolts, and this is the little backing plate, and it's going to go with 2 of them facing forward, because these 2 front bolts interfere, or there's a support, a diagonal support that goes right down along this spot, so you can't get one of these into it. So we're going to go ahead and put the bottom one on. That way we can get the bottom secured, and then we're going to go ahead and put the top one on, and we'll put the camera underneath the fender so you guys can see us putting the top one on. And remember, when you guys put these things together, you need to use these star type washers, because they'll go ahead and cut into the metal and the paint a little bit, and so you get a little bit better ground, and you've got to have a good ground, otherwise, you know, the antennas won't work well. This thing's gonna fight with me today. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the one on the far end. All right, well, we may have to fall back and regroup on this a little bit. All right, now you guys saw how we did the bottom one. Now I'm going to show you how we do the top one here. I'm hoping that you guys can see this okay. And see, now you can see that having that L brace would not come all the way back to this point, to these forward ones here. And there we go. We've got the base is completely mounted on there. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the upright and mount the upright on there. Now we have the riser here, and this is going to go on. We've got 2 sets of bolts. We're going to grab I'm going to grab this, and we're going to drop it, of course. And get it started here. Oh, lovely. Some of these are 1/4 20 and some of them are 1/4 28. Lovely. Okay, we're going to install all of these kind of loosely so that we can make sure that we're able to get all of them in without having any problems. There we have the last one. Now, we're not going to use this critter here to go ahead and tighten these bolts, because this thing here will snap a 1/4 20 bolt in a heartbeat. But with this gun here, I can set this down to the lowest setting and it'll go ahead and tighten these things up without snapping them off. And these, remember, 1/4 20 bolts, you don't have to torque them like the axle nuts on a 1.5 deuce. So at any rate, we've got the riser up. Now the next thing we got to put on is the sugar scoop. So we've got our sugar scoop antenna mount here, and we're going to go ahead and appears that we need to look for some different screws. One, two, three. Okay, actually, no, this is what we got here. These ones here are the 1/4 20s. And it looks like I'm going to have to go find me some more star washers. So let me go look for that stuff and I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like we've got what we need now. Okay. And there we have it. We've got the antenna bracket installed. The whole purpose of this, installing this bracket, is to go ahead and get my antenna up a little bit higher, because the short antenna on the AB15 is what I hook to my little handheld when I'm out working the off-road races. I've always needed to get the antenna up a little bit higher, but the main reason for it is we're going to go ahead and we're not going to show it on this video, but we're going to attach these two antenna mounts with a bracket that goes, or a piece that goes across here, probably here and here. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me some place to hang rucksacks and things like that, so that that stuff doesn't come loose and come down and clobber old PFC butters in the back here. So, but right now we're just going to concentrate on getting this antenna put back in place, and we're going to do something with this board as well. Okay, in order for an AB15 antenna to mount in one of these sugar scoops, you got to have an adapter. Obviously that ain't going to work. So here we have this adapter. I'm not real sure where this came from, but at any rate, so we're going to go ahead and bolt this up here, and then we'll be able to attach that AB15 mount and run the coax. And the countersinks are large enough in the adapter that you can get a socket in there to go ahead and tighten it up. When I first found this thing, I thought I was going to have to use a socket head cap screw, but that is not the case, thankfully. Now these are 3H24, 3H fine pitch, so these will go ahead and work with this ratchet here. Yeah, we're going to have to do it this way. And back on the mount, we need to remember our rubber gasket here. And then we'll bring the coax here up and onto the mount. We're going to go ahead and get some cable clamps to go ahead and tie this down so that this don't go flopping all over everywhere. And we're probably eventually going to actually have to put a hole here to go ahead and route this through the body in case we ever decide to put the hardtop on it, which may end up happening this winter. So let's go ahead and find us some Adel clamps and get this coax clamped on there. All right, we have our Adel clamps here. We're gonna clamp them in. And this is gonna keep the coax from just flopping around in the breeze and getting snagged on something potentially. Because believe it or not, every once in a while we do go through some tight brush in old Private Parts here. You notice that we are going to the inside slots here. There we have it. It's all mounted. The only thing we have left to do is screw our two antenna sections back together and put them back into the antenna adapter, antenna base actually. That's what the AB stands for. And there we've got it. And we've got the antenna is a good probably foot to 12 to 16 inches higher than it was before, but what that also does is that gets the antenna sections here up and over the top. So that's going to help with transmission and receiving, and hopefully we're not going to have the same problems that we had at the off-road race at Hawthorne, which we had zero communications at all there. So at this point in time we can put our spare back on. And Pvt Parts will be ready for its next, well, almost ready for its next adventure. We still have to go ahead and get this situation for the mounting the ice chest down. That's got to be resolved. Now the spare tire is riding right up against the antenna mount there, but that'll be okay. We'll still be able to get the our trash bag, and before I put the trash bag back on, I'm going to take it over and empty it. There's no point in taking a trash bag full of trash back out into the hills. There we go. All right, the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove this piece of wood. Let me grab the camera and I'll show you why. This was a good idea when I started out. Put a footman loop here and here. That way I didn't have to drill into the sponson to go ahead and mount my ice chest. Problem is I didn't want to drill any extra holes in the top of the sponson, and a little bit of rain, a little bit of moisture, and there we have it. That's a problem. So we're going to go ahead and remove the wood, and we're going to install another radio mount just like this one here. We're not going to be putting the 1029, which is the the mount that you actually slide the radio to, but this is the bracket that you can bolt the 1020 or 1029 power. I may be wrong on that, but the power base for the radio. We're just going to be installing the lower part, and then we're going to put some footman loops, and so we can mount the ice chest, but it's going to be right basically in this same exact location. So let's go ahead and first of all get this thing removed. Ooh. Okie doke. Well, I kind of had a bad feeling that this was going to be the case here. So we're going to end up, we got to clean this up a little bit and sand that, get those rust spots sanded down. So right now the sun is going down, and the paint that I have takes about a day or so to dry. So in order for me to get this video out in time, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'll go ahead and get you guys another video probably middle of the week, which is, you know, 2 a week for me is pretty unusual. And so we'll show you how that the radio mounts onto the sponson, and we'll get you that, but that'll be probably on Wednesday. So at any rate, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys back in a couple of days. Thanks again.